Witches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to our final episode of the Gloom Between Stars.
I was gonna say thank God, but then I was like, you know what though? Like, after we got through the first, 2/3 of the book,
Yeah,
it really picked up and I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was good. Um, it was a really quick read too. Like I figured it wasn't going to be that quick because some
Yeah.
of the chapters were actually pretty long, and we had to read like 80 pages. Um, so I was like, damn, this is honestly gonna suck.
Yeah.
But
But it
then
wasn't bad.
like an hour, and I was like, what? I'm almost done. So yeah, it was a really quick read. I enjoyed it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, I think um of this series so far, this book has been my favorite.
yeah, definitely. And
And I
it's kind
hope
of
that
sad
trend
too.
continues.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of sad though because it's like, damn, we got one more book and like that's it. And it's like, of course, now we like pick up,
Right?
but
But I feel like the last book also picked up in the last few chapters. And so I'm like, is the first half of the next book also going to be really, really slow?
actually, it like kind of picks up where this book like leaves off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's it. I mean, the first 5 chapters didn't feel like fluff. There's like some fluff, like pickup kind of stuff, but
right. Okay.
it was a pretty quick um read, to be honest, I thought. So
I didn't read it
yeah.
yet because I didn't want to do another accidental spoiler because I'm bad about that apparently.
I mean, to be honest though, like when this bitch comes in and she says that spoiler and I'm like, I knew that was coming. I knew that bitch would come back. But for some reason I didn't put two and two together and that really pisses me off.
Okay, I knew like once Knox was like, where is the hand? Like why is or once not Knox, Mars was like, where is the hand? Why is the hand not here? I was like, the hand! The dead hand!
I know, I was like, ain't no fucking way. I didn't catch that. It's so clever. I think there's just so much happening and going on and around that, like, just thinking about it like that was not, I don't know, wasn't in front of my mind.
Yeah, and that's when I actually snapped you and asked you, what was the madam's name?
I know, I was like, this bitch, she's coming back. I just know it.
And that, I didn't know that she was coming back yet at that point. That's when I was like, oh, the hand is the bitch. And then I
Who's the
remembered her
bitch?
name. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we left off. We finished it at chapter, I'm about to say episode, chapter 35, and we're starting off at chapter 36.
Yeah, we are.
They're in Fairhold. Now I have to juggle 2 fucking notebooks, and that's gonna stress me out. Um, so they're in Fairhold. They went to. I always forget how to pronounce this damn place. Thank God it's in here though.
Okay.
Henares.
Oh, yeah,
Henares.
Henares.
I always call it like Henares.
Yeah,
I don't know why,
Henares.
but I do. Um, but Henares. We're in Henares now, and we're speaking to the Duke, and for the first time, everybody's like, "Okay, cool." Um, this dude is obsessed with Knox. That's great, and Gad is kind of enjoying it.
Oh my God, he's killing me. He's hilarious. Like, he's making all kinds of jokes about uh
Nox and everything she has to
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah, and he keeps like prompting the Duke because the Duke is giving like poems and
hmm
about Nox, and Gadriel is just dying.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, of course he would like his poems. And it's so funny because Nox is like, okay, listen, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. Like these are the things you need to remember. These are the things you need to watch out for. Um, all of these things, and it's like none of it, none of it could prepare any of them, but Malik, because Malik's gone through it before. But like none of them
Yeah.
could understand
Yeah, and
exactly.
Malik says, or Mars goes, "This can't be real," and Malik says, "Apparently, Nox has quite the effect on men."
Malik, that could be you too.
Right? I'm just cracking up. Um, but then yet again, Gadriel is like shooting down everyone else's plans
Yeah,
because they
I
start talking
mean,
about their
always.
plan to get into Obeid or into the palace, really. And Gadriel's shooting down everybody's plans, but their plan is to um get in a carriage with the Duke to go to this there's some kind of party or something.
Yeah,
Um
they're having like a festival,
in the palace, yeah.
like a
And
celebration.
Malik is gonna be the cab driver or the carriage driver, and um Amaris is gonna persuade everybody that there's nothing suspicious happening. Um and Gad is like, no, this isn't gonna work. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And at one point they are like, this is what we're doing. And Gad's like, I don't like it. And Yaz is like, I don't think you have to like it. It's the best idea we've got. And I'm like, exactly. Like, you keep shooting down everyone else's plans, but you don't have a better one. He's like, I'm just gonna fly through the window. You mean like you did last time when you got caught?
Yeah, and
Like,
here's the thing: they all suck. Like all of these plans suck. Like everyone is acknowledging that. Like no one is saying that this one is like the best one
no.
ever. They're saying like this is what we have, and this is what we have to decide what's going to be best.
Yep. And Mara
Like
says
you,
when she brings the plan up, she says, I have a plan. It's a bad one, but it's a plan.
like there should have been, what happens when you're inside. Like there should have been more to the plan after
Yeah.
you got in. Like worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Okay, we all can like plan for that when it happens. But like, what happens if it works and you get inside? Like then what's the plan? Then what's
Right.
happening?
Right. Where are we regrouping? Where are we meeting?
Yeah.
And then
Midway
they,
through, Amaris had like a pretty decent idea. She just
yeah.
uh, it worked, but it didn't work.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then, sorry, I just read a line from the Duke. He comes back into the room. Um,
uh, what a gem.
and then Gadriel's like, I'm going to fly in. And then at some point, they do decide that the two Fae will fly in and infiltrate the castle from another direction. But won't she be expecting or prepared for someone to enter by flight? Because it's already happened once. So won't she be like, and she knows that Amaris is with you and or that Nox is with you. She knows something. So
hmm
wasn't she going to be like expecting that?
Honestly, you would think, but Faye and their wings, they don't ever listen.
No. But he does say, I'm only going with your plan because it means I get to ride in the carriage with the Duke. He is an absolute delight.
And it's so weird though, because it's like, bro, he's talking about your cousin. You want to hear all these like dirty details about your cousin?
I just think it's funny because, like, it's such a dad joke thing. Like, he's like, this is hilarious.
hmm
Like, it's so awkward, but he just leans into it.
Yeah. There's what is it? Oh, okay. So I on page 430, they're inside. It worked. Something happened, whatever.
I
Um,
think Amaris like had like a really good idea or something, didn't she?
yeah.
She starts like telling all of the guards not to fight.
Yeah. And it's like um this wasn't brought up before. Like any idea? Nothing. Like uh, to help them out maybe. And then she's like, I don't even know if it's working. I don't know this. I don't know that. And I'm like, why don't you fucking test it? Do like a test command. Like, these are guards. You're
Right?
essentially royalty at this point. Like, you're with the Duke. So maybe you should have been like, go do this.
Right. Put your hand
So,
on top of your head. Like,
yeah, like something simple that it's like, okay. Before you start commanding these people, because last time shit didn't go your way.
yeah.
You
She
got
lucks
caught.
out though. It does
Yeah.
work. But I almost wonder if it didn't work because the queen let it work.
Ooh, that's a I didn't think about that. That's so true though.
Yeah. Just based on what happens over the next couple chapters, I'm like, did she like allow
No.
that to work?
Mhm.
Hmm. Um,
Maybe a little bit, maybe not. I don't know. There was a weird thing coming.
yeah. So in this, the rest of this chapter, I was like, why is this like I'm having deja vu reading this? Why does this feel so familiar? And I was like, is it Mistborn? Like, where she was like infiltrating the nobles? No, that's not it. What am I thinking of? Throne of Glass. There's a scene in Throne of Glass. Maybe not the Throne of Glass book, but in that series that is very similar to this. And the inner monologue of that character is very similar to Amaris's inner monologue here. And I was like, God damn it. Like, I want to respect these books as their own thing, but I keep drawing so many parallels
Mhm.
between the series, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And then I was questioning if the hand and the hammer even exist or if they were um
Kind of like the Crown Prince.
yeah, illusions.
I thought that too. I was like, are they just like inciting fear?
Right. Like are they real? Are they just
Mhm.
words? What's happening? But
Um and they all think everything's so fucking smooth and everything's great, and then the queen comes in and she's like, this is my chance. Shit, I don't have a chance, but here it is. And then she's like, she spilled, or not spilled, she raised her mug to toast. And Amaris lifted her glass to the expansion of Fairhold as we reclaim what is rightfully ours. And I was like, oh, the war rages on.
this was all a diversion.
I was like, oh, well, this
Yeah.
sucks. Here
So
we
that's
go.
the end of chapter 36. And literally the only thing that I wrote about chapter 37 was, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So chapter 37, Nox is like, she feels something's different. Something is not right. And I honestly thought it had something to do with like the weather. Like they were creating like a like a blizzard type of I don't know, storm outside. Like somebody had that power to stop people from coming in and stop people from leaving. I don't know. It's something crazy. And then she's like trying to figure out what the fuck is happening, but like nothing's making sense. Everybody's like seems normal. And she's like running around and she's trying to find something. She finds the Kai. and she's like pleading with him, telling him that something's not right. And then all of a sudden they're like, they're in this city who obeyed. I was like,
Yep.
that's where the hand and hammer is.
Yep.
They're not there. They're not at the castle like Amaris was wondering. She's like, huh,
Yep.
where's the hand and hammer? Oh, they up north.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They are where you came from. So
Have
shit.
fun. So yay.
So that was chapter 37. It was a short chapter, and it was just a lot. And then we're into
It was a
chapter
lot of
38.
it was a lot of build up to the like anticipation, and then you're like, fuck, I want to know what happens
Yeah.
with Nox, and then of course it's Amaris, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
then
not
we're
like I don't want to read the Amaris chapter because like it's also a good thing, but it's like you left on that like kind of like cliffhanger. It's like, okay, well now I gotta like read through this chapter really fast.
yeah.
And then the bullshit does it again. And then you're like, fuck, now I want to read the Mars chapter.
Right? Yes. So chapter 38, um I
I was
didn't
going
write
through a lot of emotions on chapter 38. I was really confused. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
yeah, I didn't write anything for the first couple pages for the Amaris pages, honestly.
Yeah.
um
I got something on 445.
that's where my first comment is. And my comment was, "What in the actual fuck?" And then I
Yeah.
said, "Millicent? Is Millicent from Soulgrave?"
Yo, I thought the same thing. I was like, hold up, hold up. Is this Millicent? Because like we don't necessarily know anything about her hand.
Yeah,
We
we don't
just
know about her
know
powers.
that it does this weird fucking death thing. And I was like, oh my god, is this how she like is this how she got an army? Is this how she's doing all these things? Um and the sad thing is like a guard was trying to tell the queen, and the guard was like, oh, no, like this is bad, like we gotta do this, and she's like, oh no, it's fine, like whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like banging on the door, and it's just really confused, like where's the like who's banging on the door, and why is it like so slow and sluggish but like terrifying. And then all of a sudden it bursts open, and that fucking captain of the guard from way back in the when comes out of fucking nowhere, dead. This fucking zombie.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? What's happening? And I was like, wait, it's the captain. Knocks out her way, like created him, made him a drone. And I thought, what if she was what if this was all Millicent? What if she was like able to take the men and things that Nox dealt with, not dealt with, but like I guess killed in a way?
Yeah.
And was able to like reanimate them. Like what if this was Nox's doing, but also like by the hand of Millicent? And I was like, oh, she's trying to storm the castle. Is she trying to take over so she could be queen? Like what the fuck is happening?
Right.
Um,
I think
but
the
I was
queen
like,
did it though.
I thought so too. I was like, this bitch is creating a diversion to make the North more of a problem than it is, and um, all while taking over. I don't know. It was a lot because it was just like ghouls coming everywhere, just killing everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know that, like, we don't ever really find out who brought them.
Do we?
I mean,
I did.
oh, not in this book, we don't.
Yeah, no.
But so the queen starts to like run because, that's what monarchs do when things get tough. They don't stay with their people, they take off.
Presidents too.
Yeah. Um,
Damn those
so
grocery prices.
fucking grocery prices. I cannot. Um, She takes
Listen, I
off
paid
down this
$5 for
tunnel.
my pound of grapes, and they're all almost rotting already.
Dude, grapes are fucking expensive. But anyway,
Sorry.
um, she's chasing the queen, and she's chasing her, and then she finds Yaslin, and they're fighting, and the queen is like illusioning. What's the
She's
better
got like
word
an
for that?
illusion power.
And she's doing it to Yaslin, but obviously Amaris with her true sight can't see the illusion. So Yaslin is freaking out, thinking that there are birds,
Crows, I think.
crows, yeah. Um,
Like attacking her.
yeah, and she's freaking out. But Amaris keeps trying to um kill the queen, and the knife just like kind of like slides off of her, and I was immediately like, oh, I now understand why we had that whole chapter about the fucking pawn shop with the ribbon, because she must have armor like Nox.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, does she have armor too? Because like, didn't the shop owner say something about not necessarily that there's like a twin somewhere else, but like it's a very rare piece and it's hard to come by? And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, is that why the whole thing didn't work for what's her nuts in the beginning? I was like, oh, she was wearing like a protective cloth, like maybe it was part of her like clothes or something like that, and that's why Amaris didn't succeed. And then I was like, no wait, she literally just like threw fucking crows at Yaz. That's why.
Yeah.
She's part Fae.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the end of chapter 38.
Mm-hmm.
So
There was like a lot happening too with the whole
so
Nox
much
and
was
Yaz
happening.
chapters that I was like, I have to reread these sometimes.
Yeah. So chapter 39, we're back at
Whittier.
Whittier, yeah. I was like, what the fuck is it called again? And Tanith and Ash are like, what is that noise? It sounds like a warning bell.
Yeah, because they're outside practicing.
Yeah, they're out on like the training grounds or whatever. And so they go inside or they start to go inside because they're hearing the thing. But then they realize that the castle is under siege, that there is a fight happening.
And it's so nice too because instead of like shoving Tanith behind him,
he's like, get the weapons.
get the weapons, we got this. And she goes,
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, how do you like, do you not know your power?
Yes. And then they run into Nox and Sakai and give her Chandra, so she has her axe. And then Ash looks at Zakai and Nox and is like, what do we do? And I'm like, that's a good fucking question. There are 4 of us. What do we do? Like
in a castle full of like obeyed forces.
yeah,
Who
like,
knows who the fuck is there? Definitely the Hand and Hammer like is following them. Like they're the generals basically.
Yep.
So of course they're coming.
Yeah. And then they say
oh, then they're like, let's try my dad. Yeah. Sir, ain't no fucking way.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. So him and Tanith are going to like try to ask his dad, but then Zakai and Nox are in the throne room, I think. Like they go to the throne room.
Yeah, because they're hiding behind the giant like chair, the wooden chair.
Yeah, and so then Nox hears a voice and she freezes, and I was like, it's Millicent!
There it is!
It's Millicent! Exactly like that. That's exactly what happened.
My ears.
You're welcome.
It is. I was like, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. I was like, nah, those bitch.
Yep. Yes.
And then
And
all of
then
a sudden, she just switches from terrified monarch to like, I know this
bad
game we
bitch.
play. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get up there.
Yes. And so they start fighting. Zakai is fighting the hammer, who is just this
Hmm.
giant mountain of a man. And
With no brains, apparently.
yeah. And Nox is fighting Millicent, which is a very strategic, like almost more of a mental fight than a
Hmm.
um, physical fight. And then we go back to Ash and Tanith arguing with Allele. And he's like, no, I'm not going to be fighting with you. He doesn't even actually say anything, really. I mean,
Hmm.
he,
He's just laughing.
yeah. And then Ash is like, father, and he doesn't even look at him. And he's like, cool, okay. I don't have a dad. Fine. Um, and then they start to leave and realize that they're not going to be able to get out because the like exit they were going to take has people coming in like from below, and then people are coming down from above, and so they're not going to be able to get out. And I was like, he's going to use that locking stone that Zakai. So Zakai gave Ash a stone that would unlock any door, basically,
Hmm.
that Gadriel made for him. And I was like, he's going to use that on Tanith's cuffs.
I know. I was like, he needs to set Tanith free because she would absolutely fucking destroy them.
Yep. Yep. And that is the end of chapter 39. So chapter 40, we're back at Obeyed. And I about said Amryn. Amaris is trying to get Yaslin to like snap the fuck out of it. And
She's struggling.
yeah, Yaslin is like not doing well, but Amaris finally kind of gets her to um like not snap out of it. She still sees the crows, but she's also able to acknowledge that they're not real.
Hmm.
Um and so Yaslin is going to fly Amaris out of there, kind of.
Attempt.
Yeah, attempt to anyway. And then what did I write? What was I? Oh, I was just like, once they catch up to the queen, I'm like, they need to just have Yaslin grab her and fly her out into the middle of the fucking ocean and drop her. Like,
Yeah, honestly. She might not have a ward against, somebody hurting her, but that don't mean she can't drown.
right?
Bitch, can you swim? Cool. How long can you swim for?
Right. Trying to remember, when did she figure out what the ward is?
473. She's like, wait, the ribbon. And that's when she remembers the whole shop experience with Nax. And she's like, the ward is her crown. And immediately Moray goes, no. And like grabs it. And it's like,
Yep.
you dumbass bitch. You just got rid of it. You just like gave it away.
Right. Like, you should have been like, what?
Yeah. And I was like, thank you. Oh my God. And then on the next page, the damn ghouls are coming, and she goes, in just a few more seconds, Moray can go free, and because blah blah blah. I was like, don't worry, just sleep with her. You'll be fine.
Right, I was like, you kinky bitch, if you don't just get over yourself and use your damn shockwave. Like, because that's what they need to do to get the crown off of her head, is for Amaris to use her shockwave. But this
Because like
kinky
they can't
bitch
touch
can't
her.
use her shockwave unless she's turned on. I'm like, you better shove your hands down your pants or something. You better figure it out. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but you gotta figure something out. Y'all about to die.
Yo, hold up though. What if she just started doing that? And what do you think the queen would have done? Like, all right, let me just take my crown off. I'll kill myself. Don't worry.
You know what? Here, you can have it.
That might have worked in her favor.
Oh, oh my god.
You want a show, Moray? Let me get you one. And as she climaxes, a shockwave happens. I knocked you on your feet, didn't I?
Oh my gosh. We just wrote a fanfic.
In the adventure of Amaris and her orgasms.
Oh my god. That's also
No.
the end of chapter 40. So, you're welcome. You're welcome for that.
You'll do great, Amaris. Just sleep with her.
Yeah, just do something. And then I was like, what? Is one of the ghouls gonna come? They call them ghouls instead of zombies, but is one of them gonna come, like, grab her around the throat and that's when it's gonna happen? Like, fucking bitch. Weird, kinky bitch.
Oh, yes, the zombie is choking the shit out of me. Just like Gadriel.
Oh my god, I can't.
Just like Daddy Gad.
Ew. Okay, chapter 41.
That hurt
We're
my
back in the dungeon with Tanith and Ash. And Ash is like, yep. And he unlocks her cuffs. And I was like, I fucking called it! Because he's like, she's not evil, she's not his father. He loves her. So he also trusts her and takes a gamble. And unlocks her things, and she's like, close your eyes. She raises her hands, and then we're back with Nox. Or with Amaris. No, Nox. I meant Nox. We're back in the throne room with Nox. And they're fighting.
I was like,
and they're fighting. And they're fighting. I know. That's what I said too when that switch of point of views happened. I was like, God damn it, no. I want to know what happened down there.
Right. Mars wanted to too.
So then blah, blah, blah. Page 480 to 481.
I reset your brain.
Yeah, I'm just like 480 to 481. Nox and Millicent are fighting.
And you know what? Justice was fucking served.
Yeah. And like
481.
481.
That's when it happens.
Yeah. So Millicent or Chandra fucking shit. Nox throws Chandra at Millicent, and Chandra, she cuts off her arm, her dead arm, death arm, whatever you want to call it. She's
rendering her
basically powerless. Yeah.
Yeah. She's not a threat no more. I mean, was she really ever in the beginning? No, but
yeah. And so she screams, and the hammer is like, what? Because that's like she says like a dog to his owner.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows Zakai to kill him. And then,
like Attack on Titan style.
Yeah, like down the back of his his armor. And then Nox.
Oh my god. It's so fucking good though, because like Nox is like stepping on Millicent.
Yeah.
Like, eat my foot, you bitch. And she's
like, hey,
just like,
shh. Listen very carefully to what I'm about to say to you. Because I won't allow you to die with any misconceptions between us.
Listen, I read this out to Will. It was like, huh, cool. And I was like, oh, justice was served. And he was like, you feel better? I was like, yes, I do. I was like, this bitch. No, this cunt is a royal fucking whore. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
This moment right here was what everyone reading this book has been fucking waiting for.
Yes. Yes. Just, and it was very like vindicating. Like it,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Because, like, she finishes off with, "We've all had horrible childhoods, Millicent. Who among us can't blame the world for, or couldn't blame the world for how it made us grow cold? You've had all the time in the goddess's lighted kingdom to heal. You are no victim. And yes, I'm a whore, but I'm also a fucking queen. Maybe if you're lucky, the All Mother will pity you more than I do." And then she just raises Chandra and just go straight through his
Yep.
skull. And I was like,
Slicing her wicked face perfectly in half.
I know. I was like,
Like she
yes,
didn't
she is
chop her
a,
head off. She was like, "Wah, ha
yeah.
ha."
She's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm a fucking queen.
Yes.
Ugh.
That was yes. I said that was cathartic. That's what my notes say. That was cathartic.
Yeah, and Knox goes, "Didn't think I had it in me?" Question mark, like winking, and he goes, you've been more of a Queen Dorascot in one winter than your father was in decades. There is no one I would rather have on this throne." And I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. Oh, this was like a healing journey for me, even though I didn't
Right?
go through any of this.
Right. Like
I was like, oh, this
it's
is
always though,
great.
it's like that vindicated moment like where everybody has that villain in their mind from their childhood like cuz really Millicent Knox was a child when she went to Millicent. Like I mean,
16.
yeah, that's a child. So like this was healing for all of our inner childs, I feel.
Yeah, and it's just like, I had like a comment on every single page. I was like, "Justice was served by fucking Queen," and then I was like, "Okay, now I'm crying."
Yeah. Okay, and then the very end of chapter 41, we go back to Ash and Tanith and the Tanith killed everyone. Everyone in the room except for Ash. And Ash goes to look in the cell to see if his father survived, and Tanith stops. Like she puts her hand on his face. It is like, don't look for something you don't wish to see.
Mm-hmm.
And they like put their foreheads against each other, and then she's like, come on, the battle isn't over. And I will have a bonfire and happily rip each page out of all of these books and burn them one by one if she betrays him. If Tanith
Oh,
betrays Ash,
yo, right?
I oh, the way that I will lose my shit. I will be unhinged. It will be ugly. I will write a letter.
Okay, Garrett.
Yeah, it will be ugly. She better not betray him. But I know that it, if this were an SJM book, she
She
probably
would.
would betray him. And the parallels between these books and SJM books has me worried. Don't disappoint me. Come on, Piper. That's the end of chapter
And
41.
for all we know, Allele died. And you know what? He died because his hate ran too fucking deep.
Yep.
That's what happens when you hate people.
When you're racist,
Mm-hmm.
you die. With no pity. Chapter 42.
That was also vindicating too. Like,
It was.
I don't even know if he actually did die or not, but I'm
I
gonna know the
haven't read
assumption
yet.
he did. And you know what? I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Ash deserves butter.
Yeah.
Um,
This kinky bitch. Chapter 42. The first line is she needed Gadriel.
yep.
Girl.
I only said one thing about this entire chapter, and it was at the very, very, very fucking end. So
I wrote on 485, the very first page of the chapter, maybe one of the corpses will choke you, you kinky bitch. And then I said, I don't usually kink shame, but this shit is on another level. Like, if that's your kink, that's fine. But the fact that you can't use your power without that is just it's strange. It's odd and I don't like it. It is different though, because I do feel like most books, they have to be like it's either their life has to be in danger before they can use their power, or the one they love has to be in danger before they can use their power.
Mhm.
So this is a different take on it, and I enjoyed that. But I think if it were the other way around, if it were Nox having to be turned on to use her power, I would not be nearly as annoyed. But I don't like Amaris. So I think
Mars is
it,
also not a succubus, so, like, it also, like, kinda doesn't make any sense.
right, right.
But
Um, but then I don't have, what page did you say? I don't have anything else till 490.
I just have one comment about the entire chapter.
Okay. So on 488 to 489, Amaris is telling the queen, she's stalling, but in order to stall, she's telling the queen that about Nox and that the Daphne's daughter is on the throne in Gwydir, and um then
And the queen in Gwydir is her granddaughter.
yeah, and she's like, stop,
And Love
demon
Child.
lover, like don't tell me that, saying all these crazy things. And then on page 490, finally, Amaris gets angry. Um, and she like punches her hands out and screams, and her shockwave happens, or her, yeah, shockwave happens. And
Yeah.
Murray screams, she's panicking, she's freaking out because her fucking crown comes off. What's your comment?
Um, well, and then after all of that, she's, like, screaming, "You bitch," because, like, she obviously lost all her, protection, and Amaris is like, "I owe Daphne thanks. She's the reason I exist. I was born to kill you." And that's exactly what she did. She killed Murray. Um, she, like, stabbed her because she wanted to make sure she killed her before the ghouls did, so
Mm-hmm.
that she could be, be vindicated. And then the ghouls are basically, like, grabbing for her throat, grabbing for her arm, like, tearing her apart, essentially. And that's what happened. Her, like, throat got torn apart, and, like, as she's finally assessing the damage that's being done to her, she, like, passes out. Um, she honestly should have grabbed that damn, like,
The crown,
crown
right?
first, yeah. Um, and then she, like, passed out on top of Moray's, body, and then that was it, and I was like, "I swear to God, if after all of this, Amaris fucking dies, I would be
Yeah.
so fucking pissed."
An interesting thing happens though that gave me a theory.
Hmm.
So Nox is struggling to dreamwalk, right? She can't
Mhm.
figure out how to do it. And they're like, well, what Ceres would do is he would think about that person before he went to sleep. But something I've noticed, or I didn't notice until I read this and I went back and thought about it. As Amaris is falling asleep, she says, I did, or she thinks I did it, Nox.
Mhm.
So were all of those times that Nox was dreamwalking to Amaris, was it because Amaris was thinking about Nox and pulled her to her?
I I think that is something linked to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a theory. And that's the end of chapter 42.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. And we only got one chapter in the epilogue left before
Yeah.
this book is in.
And it's not, that's not much. Like, it's a pretty short chapter.
Mhm. So,
So
chapter 43.
I only wrote one thing for this entire chapter.
Same. I just said Ash was perfect in every single way.
Um yeah, so basically what happens is Tanith wins them the fight, and then she picks up the cuffs, hands them to Ash, and holds her arms out so he can put them back on. Um And he puts them down and kisses her hands and says, I trust you. And my comment was, I will set myself on fire if she betrays him, or vice versa, if he betrays her. I will set myself on fire, friends. Okay. Epilogue.
All right.
I feel very strongly.
A new ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But anyways, so epilogue. Amaris is dreaming, and she is dreaming with Nox. However, Amaris is like going fuzzy, and Nox is like, "What's wrong? Something's wrong with you. Like you're getting fuzzier and fuzzier." And she's just talking about how warm she was and how she just wants to sleep, and everybody's like stopping her from sleeping. And she's like uncomfortable and she just doesn't like it, but like she hears like an outside voice yelling to stay awake. And so she's just, I don't know, just it's like this weird dreamlike state of Amaris dying and Nox like witnessing it, and then Nox is like, did you know, or not Nox, Amaris is like, did you know this ring is a siphon? And I kind of wonder too if like after that, if Amaris is like able to take some of the siphon, the like ring or whatever, like maybe she was able to like pull it back, or like Nox knowing that was able to like push it towards her in the dream, something like that. I don't know. And then Amaris tells Nox that she's beautiful, and then Nox is like crying and upset, like screaming, telling her to wake up. And then all of a sudden, a deep male voice says, she's here with us. And then he said, I'm not the only one who's hard to kill, Witchling. And she asked for Nox. She tried to ask for Nox, but she had no voice. And she closed her eyes and searched for the sweet release of a star-soaked night.
And I said, God damn it, now I gotta start the next book right now. And then I didn't start the next book right now because I didn't want to spoil anything.
Oh, I definitely did. I was like, that bitch better stay with him. And I was like, all right, well, good thing I got the other book,
Yeah.
delivered today. Here we go.
After we finish recording today, I'm going to be reading that's the first 5 chapters of the next book. Immediately.
Yeah.
So that is the end of the Gloom Between Stars.
Up next, The Dawn and Its Light.
Yeah. Which we're going to fly through as quick as we can because Onyx Storm will be coming out soon, and I don't want to have to wait to read that.
Mm-hmm. We'll be tandeming
right
in the books.
Yeah.
Okay, well, until next time.
Bye.